Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion. Today I'm making this video just giving you a quick update, and I want to just talk about something briefly. But before I get into that, November 16th to the 18th, me, Midwest Hoonigan, you can check his link below to his YouTube channel. He's a Q60 enthusiast, and a lot of other Q50 guys and Q60 guys from the Q50 page on Facebook are meeting up, and we're going to the drag strip. So if you want to meet me, him, and a few other powerful, quick Q50s, definitely check it out. I'm gonna try to put the information below on all that information. But otherwise than that, there's an argument that keeps going around: Jb4 versus ECU Tech Tune. So y'all guys gonna be like, well, Green, Boost, you're a Jb4 advocate, but you're not a tune advocate. So I gotta make a quick video on it. Period. I gotta get to it. Okay. One, cost efficient wise, this, I'm not trying to push you guys to get a tune, but think about it like this: putting a Jb4 on is like putting on a pair of sneakers and walking with them, and you can take them off at any time and change up to a different pair of sneakers. A tune, Uprev, ECU Tech, Oris Tuning, this is surgery. This is when they cut you open and they change up some stuff inside of you. And you just can't go and get a surgery done. No, you have to go back to the doctor and have them cut you back open. Also, on top of that, there's sometimes you may have issues with it and you have to go back to the doctor and set up an appointment to get it checked out. Period. That's just the way that a tune is. That's the best analogy that I can use. Now, do I like a tune? Yes, depending on where you live. Screw where you live. No matter where you live, you have two different ways of getting a tune. Most of these tuners now make a flash tune, where they pretty much, you drive up, or you send them your ECU, they plug it into a computer, and they reflash your ECU right then and there, and mail it back, or put it back in the car and you drive off. So you don't have to get on a dyno. The second one is they get you pitched, they strap you up to a dyno, and they dyno tune your car in 4th gear. Okay, and they custom your tune, so they try to read all the parameters, make sure that all the AFRs are right, everything right, that the car's drivability is okay, and boom, that's it, they set and go. Another thing, if you have ECU Tech Tune, you can also get the Bluetooth. What the Bluetooth allows you to do is check all the parameters of the car. Make sure your coolant temp is good, your oil temp, your charge air temp, your charge air coolant temp, all the parameters to make sure your car is running right and not heat soaking. Or just pay attention to it, because you guys got to be well informed if you're going to be out there walking 392s. I'm just saying. But otherwise than that, it's set and go, and I can't say you forget, but you set and go and it's there. Now, what I like about the Jb4 is that when you buy it, you plug it in 2 minutes. You can check that video here in 2 minutes, or I'll say under 5 minutes. You can add boost on top of it because it's an advanced boost controller. You still check all the parameters. Yes, at additional, I think $130. All in all, the Jb4 is like $589 with the Bluetooth, right? And you can change your parameters on how much PSI you can run. Now, at any time, you can disconnect it and go back to normal. Period. Also, on top of that, the tune doesn't yield any more PSI really above than what a Jb4 can do. Now, let me quickly explain. Now, if you're a Redsport guy, already the tune that they're going to give the Redsports are 18 to 19 to 20 PSI tunes. The Jb4, you can run 20, 21, 22 PSI. It's not hard to get to that because you can add up to +9 on top of whatever the car is running. Most of the time, from me looking at data logs for the Redsports, your car is calling for a peak of 14 PSI, maybe 15, depending on the weather. You can add +5 on top of that and call it a day and taper it off. Not a problem, not an issue. Also, you have the Bluetooth, which you can look at all your AFRs. And from what I can see, because Burger Tune took their time out to data log it, from what I see, that the AFRs go to low 12s, high 11s. Those are good AFRs, good rich AFRs, and the car is running proper. Now, here's the downside to the Jb4. It's not consistent, because you're going off the engine PSI, whatever the engine is sending out, you can only add up on top of that. So if the car is telling you 10 psi and you setting +5, you're only gonna get 15. What the tune, okay, let me just finish off the disadvantage. That's one of the disadvantages. You can't actually get consistent psi all the time. You just can't. There's no adjustability for the AFR. Usually when you push into a little bit of lower, higher 12s and maybe even 13s, I'm not saying a lot of tuners should do this, but some of them do that. They can push a little bit more wheel horsepower out of it, but that brings up your exhaust temperature temps. You don't want that. But there's no real adjustability of that. Also, another thing is, the third thing, we can't adjust the timing. Once again, we're at the slave for whatever the car wants to do. So we can't adjust the timing. So those three alone are the disadvantages of the Jb4. Now, what the tuning does, it picks up for that. It gives you the proper AFR. It gives you the proper pinouts. So if it wants 18, 19 PSI, that tune is telling that car to give 18, 19 PSI. Pretty much no matter what. Now, timing does change, but they try to adjust the timing the best way they can possible with the tune too. So with those two advantages, you get consistent PSI, you get proper timing, and they try to aim for the right AFR. So those three things are what the ECU tech do that's above it and actually pretty great. Now, some of you guys are gonna be like, well, the tune just sounds so much more better then, because I'll get consistent PSI that I want. My AFRs will be more calibrated, and my timing will be more kind of where I would need it. I do agree. I completely agree. Because if you're the type of guy that wants to go get an iPhone, boom, that's it. But if you're the type of guy that's like, you know what? You know, I'll just get an Android. It's going to work. It's going to do its job. I don't need to be part of that. And I don't want to have to go back to Apple every time when some error keeps coming up or some update that keeps slowing down my phone. But hey, I don't want to sit there and say that to them, guys. I'm just saying that. I'm not saying that's what happened to you guys, but I'm just trying to use that analogy. So all in all, there are advantages and disadvantages on both sides. You can add PSI on a Jb4 at any period. And finally, if you made it to this part of the video, there's something called doing both. You can get a basic ECU tech tune for about $600 to $700. 18 PSI, 19 PSI tune. Now here's the thing that makes Jb4 better than a tune to me. You can always add more boost whenever you want to call for it. Period. Yes. So if you're a Redsport and you're like, I just want to have 2 more PSI today. Let me data log and make sure the car's running right. Boom. I want to run an E20, E30 mix. Boom. Like I want to have E100 on my car. Boom. The car will run better, and you can always add PSI. With a tune, you can't. You have to slave for that. So if you're just losing to a 392 all the time with your ECU tech tune, here comes the Jb4 guy. Oh, I took an L that time. Let me just turn it up a little bit. Make sure that my AFRs are right, and make sure my timing is good. Once you got that, boom, 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 you're gone. Period. So you can also stack on top of a tune. You get an 18 PSI tune that the car is running right. Guess what? Now you can stack the Jb4 on top of that tune and add 2 to 3 more PSI if you want to, just to right around the mid-range. Once again, you're data logging it. Remember, you're data logging it to make sure that everything is correct, because you can also do that if you have the Bluetooth for the ECU tech too. And if the AFRs are right, you're running safe. You're running good. Now, for lastly, this part is just a special part. A lot of people ask, oh, comparing the tune versus the Jb4, will it affect warranty? Well, guys, I want to make this quick joke. Think about it this way. If you are going to cheat on the woman or your partner, are you going to come home with the condom on your Johnson? No, you wouldn't, would you? You'll make sure that you cleaned up and you're looking good, right? Exactly. That's what you're supposed to do if you're doing stuff with your car. So with the Jb4, guys, unplug it and drive in. Why would you leave it plugged in? Now with the tune, it's a little different. There's plenty of back and forth, back and forth. They can see it, they can't see it, they can see it, they can't see it. The flash counter, the trims, the freeze frame that you have if there's any incidents. If there's any warranty issues where the service techs need to go and look into the ECU just in case there's some issue might have happened, because they want to know. Sometimes they might send an engineer out, blah, 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 blah. Guys, if you flashed or rooted flashed or jailbreaked your iPhone and you came back to T-Mobile or Apple and say something's wrong with my software, what's gonna happen to your warranty? No, you jailbroke your iPhone. You're supposed to reflash it. So ECU allows you to flash back to stock. Unfortunately, unless you have a computer and a data cable, you will have to go to the tuner to do so. Okay, guys? So once again, this stuff is not covered under warranty and it will affect the warranty. But guys, you cannot go back to the dealer with issues and just leave it there. No matter if you're tuned, reflash it back to stock. If you're Jb4, unplug it. Okay? Stop asking this question. Everyone's tired of hearing it. Yes, there's freeze frame. Yes, there's this. Yes, there's that. Guys, do not put yourself out there and get caught. Okay? If it happens to you, it's your fault. People have had their warranties voided because they put in intakes or K&N drop-in filters or whatever else you might choose to do. One guy I remember read is he lowered his car on drop springs and his rear diff was leaking. They voided his warranty because they said, well, you lowered the car, so that somehow affected your diff. It was just a seal that they had to put on. The car was still driving right. It's just that he had a seal problem. It was a lease. So guys, just think about that before you do it. Understand, just don't go back with it on. Okay, take it off, come back, put it back to stock. Now let's continue. And lastly, y'all guys are gonna ask, well then, which car will be faster? Jb4 Redsport or ECU Tech Redsport or UpRev or Oris? The ECU Tech tuned versions will be faster. Reason being, remember, the tuners can go and adjust AFRs, they can adjust the timing, they could just, there's way more parameters that they can adjust to make the car put out more wheel horsepower. Okay, guys, that's just what it is. Yes, you could be running 20 PSI, putting down 420, but your AFR could come from 11.8 to 12.5, and you can literally gain 20 to 30, well, I'll say 20 to 30 wheel horsepower, depending on what the delta or the range is. So yes, if you want to optimize your Q50, Q60 and be, let's be honest, you're not gonna be the fastest person on earth. But if you want to optimize in the sense of that the car is running at its peak performance, the tune is where you want to be. But if you just want something to stow and go, you'll still be quicker, but you won't be as fast. And some of you guys are like, oh, it's gonna be way faster. No, it won't be. You're just gonna, the tune is gonna be a bit quicker. Okay, guys. Unfortunately, right now, I don't see any Jb4 Q50s or Q60s, Red Sports or Silver Sports in 12s or at least in 11s yet. Right now, all the tuned versions are in 11s. I haven't seen any. Maybe guys are just not trying to run their car like that, but we'll see what happens within the next month. All right, guys. So let me just put up my closing statement. So I hope I gave all you guys all the information that you need. Use it at your own leisure, okay, guys? I gave the pros and cons to tuning. I gave the pros and cons to Jb4. Guys, at the end of the day, y'all would want my opinion. Some people might think I'm biased because I only had Jb4. In my case, I'm still going to rather stick with the Jb4 because I like the ability of looking into the little parameters and just learning more and knowing hands-on what my car is doing. With the tune, it's not saying that you're not still not cataloging it and looking into the information, because you still are. You're learning about it, but you're at the whim of your tuner. That's it. Some tuners are going to give you a 20, 22, 23 PSI tune if they really want to. They could go more aggressive. But someone's going to always keep it safe and give you 16, 17, 18 PSI tunes, maybe 19. And that's somewhere right around good for about 420 to the wheels in mid-range and tapers off to like 375 at the higher end. But all in all, like, guys, like, I just want you to pick what you're most comfortable with. It is your money. I want you to do what you want with your money, period. This platform is growing substantially quick. This channel is growing quick too, and I really appreciate y'all. So if you made it to this part of the video, I hope I really helped you guys. I really appreciate y'all. Please subscribe, hit the bell button. If you like the video, hit the like. Comment below on the product you might use. Some of you guys might have tuned cars right now. Comment and tell me your disadvantage or your advantages. I don't want this to be a bash and post about versus. No, they both are two different type of things, apples and oranges. They're both not oranges and tangerines here, okay, guys? So all in all, hit the subscribe, bell, like, dislike, and comment. You can also follow me on Boost Emotion at, well, Instagram, and on Facebook, Boost Emotion. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate y'all very much. You guys have an amazing, beautiful day, afternoon, and night. Thank you.